Every month, the paycheck arrives, and then it simply disappears. We are told to budget, yet plans feel like punishment. What if one rule existed that respected your actual life? The 50-30-20 rule promises exactly that, with real numbers attached. 50% for needs, 30 for wants, 20 for savings. It sounds too clean to survive. First contact with reality. Before trusting it, we must ask who this rule actually serves. Let us follow one real paycheck through this formula step by step. Our guide earns $3,000 a month after taxes. That figure sits near the median for working households today. First, the needs. Half of her pay, $1,500. Housing alone swallows $900 of that slice. Groceries add another $300, leaving little room to breathe. Utilities, insurance, and transport claim the final $300. Already the 50% feels tight, squeezed by rising costs. This is where the rule first collides with real life. Some households spend 60% on needs, not 50%. The rule does not bend for geography, debt, or family size. Yet it forces a crucial conversation about what counts as essential. Is the streaming subscription a need or a disguised want? The rule demands honesty, not perfection, in drawing that line. Now the wants. $900, 30% of pay. Dining out, hobbies, shopping, entertainment. This is the breathing room. Without this slice, budgets fail because people are not machines. Psychologists call this deprivation backlash. Strict months destroy lenient ones. 30% acknowledges that joy is not a budgeting error. But here lies the hidden trap, lifestyle creep. Yesterday's want becomes today's need, and the 30% expands silently. The rule assumes you can tell the difference. Many cannot. Tracking every dollar for 1 month reveals the uncomfortable truth. Finally, savings and debt. $600, 20%. This is not just retirement. It is your emergency parachute. $600 a month becomes $7,200 every year. In 5 years, that is $36,000 a future. Compound interest turns that wall into a fortress over decades. Yet 20% is a luxury many cannot afford today. Student loans, medical debt, and car payments devour that slice. Advisors argue debt repayment counts as savings, technically speaking. Technically true, but paying off past purchases is not wealth. The rule was invented by Senator Warren, grounded in bankruptcy research. She studied why families collapse, then built this guardrail. It was never meant to be a straitjacket, but a baseline. Adjustments are not failure. They are the rule working correctly. Earn less? Your needs percentage rises. Your wants must shrink. Earn more? Do not simply inflate the 30%. The greatest power of this rule is not the math. It forces a conversation between your present and future self. We have mapped the 3 lands, but the journey continues. Next, we explore what happens when the numbers refuse cooperation. A rule on paper is only as strong as the hands holding it. The character stands before a wall of bills, watching the tidy $1,500 needs cap crumble under the weight of real prices. They sit at a kitchen table with a calculator, groceries and utilities still waiting to be paid. The 50% needs bucket overflows, spilling red coins across the floor. In many cities, a single-bedroom apartment demands 45% of median income. The character stares at a hospital bill, questioning whether health care fits neatly into needs. Student loans arrive in the mailbox, another fixed obligation the rule never anticipated. They stand in a grocery aisle, comparing prices, inflation quietly erasing their margin. A childcare invoice flutters down like a leaf, landing on the growing pile. For millions, essential spending consumes 70% before a single want appears. The character watches their budget jars shake, the math refusing to balance. We have been sold a formula that assumes a living wage first. The rule was born in an era of cheaper housing and stable salaries. The character opens a cupboard stocked with instant noodles, wants already sacrificed for survival. Yet financial gurus still preach 50-30-20 as universal law. Shame creeps in when the spreadsheet says, "You are failing." The character walks through a storm of percentages, umbrellas useless against the downpour. But what if the categories themselves are lying to us? A streaming subscription feels trivial until 12 of them cluster like pigeons. The gym membership, the meal kit, the premium app, upgrades, multiply silently. Needs and wants blur at the edges, disguised as each other. The character holds two identical boxes, one labeled need, one labeled want. A car repair shifts from want to need when the transmission explodes. Lifestyle creep wears the mask of necessary comfort, impossible to detect. They stand on a scale weighing a latte against a retirement account. The 20% savings goal looms like a distant mountain peak. With high interest debt, saving 20% while borrowing is mathematical madness. The character opens a shoebox of past due letters, feeling the weight that no interest rate alone can explain. Every percentage point of interest devours the returns from cautious saving. An emergency fund matters, yet so does escaping the debt trap. The rule offers no guidance on which fire to extinguish first. Freelancers know the terror of a month with 0 invoices paid. The character watches their income line zigzag like a mountain ridge. Averages mean nothing when rent is due on the 1st. They smooth their own curve, hoarding cash during feasts to survive famine. The 50-30-20 template assumes a paycheck that arrives like clockwork. Quarterly taxes arrive like a silent fourth partner, claiming 25% before the 3 buckets even appear. Seasonal laborers understand percentages better than economists ever could. The character stuffs autumn earnings into envelopes, preparing for winter silence. Perhaps the rule is not broken. Our economy has outgrown it. The character surveys a landscape where housing towers and wages shrink. New frameworks emerge. 80-20, where saving anything is victory. Others try 60-20-20, expanding needs to reflect reality. The character adjusts the jars, refusing guilt for adapting the formula. A single parent needs different math than a dual-income household. Location, age, health, debt, each rewrite the percentages. The rule becomes a starting line, not a finish line. The character charts their own numbers on a blank map. Tracking actual spending reveals the truth that theory obscures. Awareness matters more than arbitrary buckets ever did. The jars settle, not perfect, but honest at last. But honesty is only the first step toward real freedom. A budget that cannot bend will eventually snap in half. 1 month brings overtime, the next a shrinking grocery list. 50-30-20 is a compass, not a set of shackles. Erase the high-interest chains before filling the savings jar. Your neighbor's 50% looks nothing like your own. Knowing where each dollar went matters more than where you hoped. $5 redirected daily becomes something vast by December. What are we really measuring when we sort our paycheck? Every percentage point is a trade between tomorrow and today. Control is not rigidity. It is deliberate, mindful motion. If this rule made you argue with it, it has already worked. Needs, wants, and future. 3 seeds from the same soil. That wall of paper from the first morning still exists somewhere. Now I see a map instead of a battlefield. The numbers were just a language for a deeper conversation. Asking where it goes is asking what you value. The jars stay on the shelf, ordinary and unremarkable now. The rule is not perfect, but it is a place to begin. Track where $1 went today, and you will already know more than the rule ever promised.